This video will teach you how to complete the photo editing assignment on Google Classroom. It's worth 5 points. It's 1 point per image that you've edited. And we're going to use the photos that we did on our scavenger hunt yesterday. If you were gone yesterday or if you didn't get at least 5 photos uploaded, you're welcome to use any of mine here. I just went ahead and added them to the assignment. So you're welcome to borrow some of my own images. I've already downloaded my images, but I want to show you how to do that first. So I'm going to go ahead and click on an image that I think I want to download, and then you'll go to the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner and go to Open a New Window. And then you should be able to click on the Download button. If your photos are in Google Drive, you can also just download them there, and it's pretty straightforward. Go back here. So I have all my photos already downloaded, and I'm going to scroll down. We're going to go to photopea.com. This is a really great free alternative to Photoshop. And the nice thing is that it's web-based. You don't have to log in. You don't have to create an account or anything like that. It works on a Chromebook as well. The downside is that it is web-based, so you do need the internet to use it. And sometimes it's been known to crash or have some issues. It doesn't do everything that Photoshop does. So eventually we will switch over to Photoshop, but for now we're using Photopea. So go ahead and click on the button that says Open from Computer. And here you'll open up your first image, whichever one you want to work with first. We're going to go ahead and open it. And if we go back to our instructions, it says photo number 1, turn one photo black and white, adjust the color balance of the black and white as needed, export as a JPG, otherwise known as a JPEG, and save with the name photo 1. Okay, so you really have to make sure you follow the instructions for these. And to make something black and white, we're going to start at image right at the top here. We'll go to adjustments, and then we're going to go to black and white. This is a very quick way to make something black and white. I'm going to drag this panel over. Here I can actually customize the color balance of the black and white image. So if you go back and look at the original, there's a lot of greens, there's some yellows and blues in there. So if I adjust the greens here, you'll kind of see how this changes, right? I can make the greens darker. I can make them lighter. Go back a little bit so you can kind of see it. I'm going to play around with the cyans too because there's a lot of blues, and yeah, see how that adjusts even the clouds. So if I want more contrast in the sky, do something like that. Maybe I want to adjust the blues a little bit. I think I need to adjust the yellows too because there's a lot of yellow green. Yeah, there's like some yellow in there. I'm going to adjust the yellows. And you just play around with it. Like obviously I don't want it to be that dark, but you know, you could maybe go that dark if you want. Right about there, kind of like the cow popping out on there. All right, and click OK. And then it says you're going to export as a JPG and save with the name photo 1. So here I'll go to File, Export as JPG or JPEG. Click on that button, and then you're going to change the name to photo 1 once that pops up. Here's the name change, photo 1. Whoops. You don't have to mess around with the quality or anything like that. I usually save it a little less quality just because then it's a smaller file size. It loads faster, and then I can click Save. And this is just going to save to the downloads. So it goes right up there, photo 1, and I'm done with this photo. Now I could just go to File Open, or I could exit out and then do Open from Computer again, but I'm just going to do File Open and open up a new image. So let's do this one. The instructions for this one are to adjust the levels and brightness contrast of a different photo. That's a different photo. And then we're going to export it as photo 2. All right, so we're dealing with brightness, contrast, and levels for this one. If I go to Image, Adjustments, Levels and Brightness Contrast are right there. I'm going to show you what each of these do. So brightness is pretty straightforward. It's just how bright or dark an image is. Same with contrast. If you want it to have more contrast, you can increase it or decrease it if you want less contrast. I personally really prefer levels. So if you want to do most of the edits in your levels, that's fine. This is where you're going to be editing the shadows, midtones, and highlights. So shadows are here, midtones here, highlights there. With the shadows, I can click and drag, and you'll see how it increases the dark areas of the image, but it doesn't do anything to the rest of the image, right? Like the sky isn't really changing a whole lot. It's just messing with the shadows. So I can really play around with contrast that way. So you could do like really high contrast or really light contrast. If you really want to brighten it up, I'm going to like really brighten up my sky here. There we go. So you really see the thistles there, and click OK. And once again, File, Export as. Once you're happy with it, I'll do JPG again. We'll change this to photo 2 and click Save. All right, next image. We're going to go to File, Open up number 3. Do this one. This one says, adjust a different photo's hue saturation so that it's very different from the original. Use the crop tool to crop this photo. Export as a JPEG and save as photo 3. All right, so here we go. Hue saturation, this is always lots of fun. Go to image, adjustments, hue saturation. You're kind of seeing a pattern here. Image adjustments is kind of where we go for a lot of this. And hue will actually change the colors completely. It can make it look like it's an alien world or something. Saturation is how much of that color. I don't really do much with lightness, but you can make it like really vibrant, out of this world, high saturation or less. If you go all the way down, you'll see it turns it black and white. So you don't want to go all the way down. Keep it somewhere probably, down here and up. Should have some color to it. But just make sure the colors are very different from the original and then click OK. Don't forget, you also need to do the crop tool here. So crop, and we're going to crop this image using the crop tool right here. It's underneath the magic wand. I want to crop this person and probably this person out of here. I'm just going to simply crop them out. There we go. I actually kind of like that it's kind of a square now. And now I can hit enter on the keyboard and it has been cropped. So from here, I can go to File, Export as JPEG, and we're going to export this as photo 3. I think that's photo 3. All right. Number 4, you're going to adjust photos color balance. And then you're also going to do any other adjustment under the adjustments panel. So I'll go ahead and open up my 4th photo. It's very repetitive here. We're going to start with color balance, and then we're going to choose an adjustment of our choice. So image adjustments, color balance. This is really useful if you're trying to tint a photo or like warm a photo up a little bit. You can see how I can kind of warm a photo up by increasing the reds and the yellows. It just kind of adds some warmth to it, to the image. It's a lot warmer. Maybe I want to cool it down. I could increase the cyan, the greens, the blues, and that'll really cool down an image. So it's a way to kind of play around with the warmth or coolness of an image. Here you can see where it says shadows. You can also play around with the midtones. So it's kind of like the levels where now I'm going to adjust the midtones. Maybe we'll increase the coolness there. So it's much cooler than the original at this point. You can even see there's the original. Here's the one I edited. It's much cooler, much more blue tones going on. And then I have to choose a different adjustment. You can do any of these other ones that you might be interested in. Not all of them will work. Like black and white would kind of defeat the purpose because then you won't get to see the color balance changes. But you're welcome to maybe play around with levels there too if you want to play around with the gradient map or threshold, posterize, invert, any of those you're welcome to use. I'm going to do, I think, photo filter because these are kind of useful too. Similar to color balance, you get these different colors that you can choose, and then it will filter through. So it kind of tints the photo for you. And you can drag this up and down as needed, but I kind of like that tint. So I'll click OK. And then this one is going to be saved as photo 4. Here we go, photo 4. And last but not least, the 5th photo, it says remove something from a different photo using the spot healing brush tool and then export and save as photo 5. So let's go open up this 5th photo. This is the one I think I want to do with the traffic cone because it just really detracts from the overall image. Not that it's an amazing image, but it's kind of annoying. A couple quick tools. So first, the spot healing brush is right here. If it's hiding for some reason, you can right click and you'll usually find it right there. So it's a little band-aid with a little star next to it. So spot healing brush. Up here is where you can change the size of that brush because right now it's very small. I'm going to increase the size so you can see the outline. If you can see the outline there, much bigger. I don't want it too big, but just enough to like cover the cone. I think that's probably good for now. We'll see if I can do this. I'm going to grab my magnifying glass right down here. It's right above your colors. And I'm just going to click a couple times to zoom in. We're just zooming in. I'm not making the image bigger. I'm just zooming into the photo. And from here, I can grab my spot healing brush. We'll see if I can remove this cone. This is kind of a big thing. It may not remove perfectly, but just to kind of show you how it works. It did it pretty good. That wasn't so bad. So it's really cool. You can cover things, and it helps if you have kind of the same pattern or color around the thing you're removing. To zoom back out, I'll grab that magnifying glass again, go up here, and we'll zoom out here. Got kind of a little smudge there, but that's actually not too bad. You probably wouldn't notice that if you're looking aside from the shadow here from the cone. Oh, there we go. So I'll probably remove that shadow too. Let's try it. I'm going to try it with the spot healing tool. Let's try that. Let's see if I can get rid of that shadow. Awesome. So you can see how useful that is. I didn't have to spend a whole lot of time cutting something out. It doesn't work for everything, but for something like that where it's just like a distraction or maybe like a blemish, like I know sometimes, I have students who are like, oh, I have a zit or whatever. You can actually use that on blemishes or things where you want them out of the picture. Awesome. All right, so from here, I'm going to go to File, Export As, JPG, and I'm going to export this as Photo 5. And I'm almost done. Whoops, there we go. Get out of here. Click Save. I have all 5 photos now. Now all you need to do is you'll go to that assignment. You're going to go and click Add File, and you're going to add the files directly from the computer. So don't choose Google Drive. You're just going to upload them from the computer. I should be able to see all 5 photos uploaded. These were just some from my students. You're able to upload those, and then I can see them. And the cool thing is then I can compare them to the old photos to actually see that you did the editing. So if you use mine, that's fine. I'll compare them to the ones that are uploaded here. So it's pretty straightforward. Make sure you have all 5. Each one should be labeled photo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each one should be separate. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to raise your hand and call me over. But this should get you started, and it breaks it down, piece by piece. It should help you a lot. All right, thanks for watching.